Good evening everyone, and welcome to an extra Gundam news that is all about the Gunpla announcements from Bandai's Hobby New Item Info thing, which announced the Gunplas for January, February, and March. And well, let's say that the announcements ranged from very exciting to please stop. So let's go over the announcements month to month, starting with January. The big release here is, of course, the previously announced Full Mechanics 1/100 scale Graze Ein, going for 7,150 yen or 45 US. But now we got all of the details as well as some new promotional images. So for accessories, we are getting 2 large axes, hand parts to recreate the screw punch, an action base, marking stickers, and metallic 3D stickers for the main camera, which can be revealed by opening up the head. And apparently you can choose between several stickers to replicate different states of the main camera. And for even more gimmicks, it can also deploy its machine guns without parts forming, the pile bunkers function exactly like they did in the anime, and the drill kick can be replicated without parts forming. And they also talk about how they specifically designed the Graze Ein's inner frame with close combat in mind, meaning that it should be a very articulated model kit. As for the newly announced stuff for January then, it's a bunch of Gundam water slide decals. For 1,430 yen, 9 US, there is number 144 high-grade Zeta Gundam General Purpose number 1, for use with kits like the Zeta Gundam, Hyakushiki, Mark II AUG version, and the DJ. And then for 770 yen, 5 US, there is number 145 Real Grade Force Impulse Gundam Spec 2, number 146 Real Grade Akatsuki Owashi, and number 147 Real Grade RX-78-2 Gundam version 2.0. Moving on to February then, we are getting the Real Grade Ground Gundam. An announcement that no doubt has caused some mixed emotions, because a lot of the Gundam X fans were no doubt hoping for a Real Grade Gundam X announcement. But those hopes have now been well and truly crushed, so maybe next year. To be honest though, getting the high-grade Leopard, Versago, and Astron was already more than I was hoping for as a Gundam X fan, so I'm not too down about this. Especially not because the Ground Gundam here is looking like a really sweet kit with some never seen before anime accurate features. The backpack has a special extension mechanism so that when the Gundam is crouching, the backpack mounted weapon container can be lowered all the way to the ground. We've seen this in the anime, but this was way too tricky to completely pull off in model kit form. Until now. This is the kind of stuff that I go crazy for. And what goes into the container is of course the 180mm cannon. You can disassemble it so that it can be stored inside of the container and transported. Plus, it also comes with a really cool bonus feature. By pushing down on the side armor, the cannon literally pops out of the container, and then by moving it up again, it goes in again. That is some really cool stuff. And talking about anime accurate things, one of the promotional images also accurately replicates the famous scene from the intro that has so often been misrepresented and misinterpreted. Because of the composition of the scene, and also just because of how fast it happens, a lot of people were under the assumption that the Ground Gundam was bracing the cannon on its shield. But the shield was actually quite a bit in front of the Gundam, which is exactly how they replicate it here, and the shield even comes with a dedicated terrain piece to stick it in. Again, really cool. For the rest of the accessories then, we have a slight mismatch between what is shown and what is listed. What we see in the promotional images are the container, the 180mm cannon, 2 beam sabers, a shield, the terrain piece for the shield, a bazooka with removable magazine, and a machine gun also with removable magazine. But then when we look at the description, it also lists the beam rifle, which I personally really like, and a spare antenna, allowing us to display the Gundam with either the standard yellow antenna or a white antenna, which is used on Sanders' unit later on in the series. And what we're of course also getting is a large amount of marking stickers, all of which can be ours for 4,620 yen or 29 US. I feel like I've been saying this a lot about recent real grades, but this again looks like it's going to be the defining Gunpla for this machine. Whether it's the accessories, the gimmicks, the fantastic detailing, or the crazy articulation, no other Ground Gundam kit even comes close to this thing. It does also mean that it's the most expensive one to date, but that is kind of to be expected. Another reason then that I'm really excited about this thing is what it could mean for future releases, because if you remember, the real great Ground Gundam was announced a very long time ago. Concept art for a potential real great Ground Gundam was first shown off in 2012, which might not sound that long ago, but that was 14 years ago. The important thing then is that alongside the Ground Gundam, there was also concept art for a real great Goof and a real great Jim. Both being real greats that I would love to get. Just imagine a badass real great Jim based on the real great RX-78 version 2.0. That would be sick. What I think we're also definitely getting, by the way, is either a real great EZ8 or some kind of real great 08th MS team upgrade pack. Because when you look at the shield, it has some suspiciously well-placed holes in it that seem to be perfect for the reinforced armor on the shield that we see the 08th MS team using later on in the series. And then to wrap up February, we are again getting some Gundam Waterslide decals. For 1,430 yen, 9 US, there is number 148, high-grade 08th MS Team General Purpose number 1, for use with kits like the Ground Gundam, EZ8, Jim Ground Type, and Goof Custom. Number 149, high-grade Destiny General Purpose number 1, for use with kits like the Strike Freedom, Infinite Justice, Destiny, and Legend Gundam. And number 151, high-grade MS Igloo General Purpose number 1, for use with kits like the Zeta, the Jim, and the Zaku 2. And then for 770 and 5 US, there's number 150, Master Grade Super Deformed Freedom Gundam. In March then, we are getting the kit that people were probably talking about the most. The Master Grade Extreme Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam. Even on the Japanese side, people were complaining about it being yet another Freedom Gundam. In addition to it being a remold. Like, sure, I can see why Bandai would want to make the Mighty Strike Freedom as a Master Grade Extreme. It is the main mobile suit from their most successful film ever. But it's kinda hard to get people excited about a remold taking up a valuable Master Grade slot, let alone a Master Grade Extreme slot. I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe they should have considered making this a premium Bandai exclusive and then giving the retail Master Grade Extreme slot to another kit that totally deserved it as well. But alas. It's also really expensive, by the way. At 26,400 yen, 166 US, it is about 50% more expensive than the regular Master Grade Extreme Strike Freedom Gundam. So let's have a look at why this might be. The main thing they wanted to go for with this kit was iridescent expression, or simply put, they wanted a very shiny kit where they could use a lot of mechanical core plating, and this kit is apparently also the first one to feature mechanical core plating on colored plastic. To make things even more shiny then, they overhauled the coloring for the golden parts, which then I'm assuming is part of the reason why it is so ridiculously expensive. As for the accessories, we are getting the Futsunomi Tama anti-ship sword, a railgun, 2 beam rifles, 2 beam sabers with beam saber blade effect parts, a single beam shield, a second V-fin with disruptor opened up, an action base, a bunch of hand options, a bunch of stickers, and 4 in-scale minifigures. There's Kira and Lacus for inside the Mighty Strike Freedom's cockpit, Lacus for inside the Proud Defender's cockpit, and then a standing figure of Lacus to replicate her iconic pose from the anime. And to make sure that she doesn't fall from the Freedom's chest, there's a special piece included that you can kinda slot her into. So yeah, it's no doubt going to be a very impressive Gunpla, and it's also no doubt going to make Bandai a lot of money, but again, it's just so hard to get excited about this thing when it's mostly just a remold of a previously existing Master Grade Extreme. Also, I wonder how long it's going to take them to release the premium Bandai Limited Master Grade Extreme Strike Freedom Gundam Type 2. I know it's happening, you know it's happening, we all know it's happening. Staying with the Master Grades, we've got the Master Grade Super Deformed 00 Riser, going for 6,050 Yen, 38 US. A quite hefty price tag that doesn't feel quite as hefty anymore because we just talked about the Master Grade Extreme Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam. But so, for this money, we are getting another very impressive Master Grade Super Deformed. First of all, it just comes with a lot of stuff. We've got the 00 Riser, which can also be displayed on its own, 2 GN Sword 2s, a GN Sword 3, beam effect part set for those swords, including a very big one, 2 GN Shields, the ability to connect the GN Shields with the GN Sword 2s, 2 GN Beam Sabers, and a set of stickers. And in addition to that, the shoulder-mounted GN drives come with some very cool model kit exclusive gimmicks, like for example, turning the GN drives opens up the shoulder armor. The kit also comes with the Master Grade Super Deformed's signature reflection cut gimmick, and if you look closely at the GN capacitors, you can see that text has been engraved on the clear parts. The final Gunpla then is also the cheapest one they announced, which is kinda crazy when you think about it being the high-grade Hamma going for 4,400 Yen, 28 US. It's also not exactly a mobile suit I was expecting to see here, because 1, it did get an RE100 a while back, and 2, there are some other Zeta Gundam, double Zeta Gundam mobile suits that I would have preferred instead of the Hamma. On the flip side, it does seem that Bandai is determined to give every mobile suit from Double Zeta Gundam a kit now, so there is still hope for us to finally get a Q-Blade mass production type. But we're talking about the Hamma now. It comes with a beam saber, which can be held in its movable claws. Both the arms and the claws can be ejected and come with lead wires. The mono eye is movable. Its shield has a mine deployment gimmick, but they didn't yet show us how exactly it works. And both the arms and the hips come with an extension mechanism to give the kit anime-accurate articulation, because I mean, with a funky design like the Hamma, I can definitely see why it would need some kind of extension mechanism to keep up its articulation. This then leaves us with one final question. What kit is going to be next for their Double Zeta Gundam lineup? Are we finally going to get a mass production type Q-Blade? Are they going to go more obscure with something like a Desert Zaku or the Jomru Finn? Or are they going to play it more safe with something like a full armor Double Zeta Gundam? To wrap up the month then, we are again getting some Gundam water slide decals. For 1,430 Yen, 9 US, there is number 152, high-grade Gundam X General Purpose number 1, for use with kits like the Gundam X, Leopard, Versago, and Ashtaron, and number 154, high-grade MS Igloo General Purpose number 2, for use with kits like the Zaku 2, the Dom/Rig Dom, Zaku 1, and Gelgoog/Gelgoog Cannon. And for 770 Yen, 5 US, there's number 153, Real Great Wing Gundam, and number 155, Master Grade Gundam Barbatos. And that has been all for the new announcements. It's safe to say that it was a very mixed bag. We got some really cool stuff, some really unexpected stuff, and a very massive disappointment. Which, by the way, was also reflected by the like to dislike ratio on the announcement video, which I will have linked down below. According to my plugin, there's currently 3,200 likes versus 1,200 dislikes. That is not a good ratio, and I'm pretty sure it's the worst ratio I've ever seen on one of these kinds of announcement videos. So maybe Bandai will take some lessons from this. Maybe. So let me know down below which kit you're the most excited about and why. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow with either more Gundam news or Plamo news.